Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you my everyday makeup routine. Everyone always asks me, what is this routine? So I decided to show you guys today, so definitely stay tuned. I always start off with doing my brows first, just because my brows frame my face. And today I am using the NYX Brow Gel in the color Brunette with a BH Cosmetics angled brush with the little spoolie on the end. So I put some of this product on one of those makeup artist palettes, so that way I wouldn't have to keep dipping my brush into the product. So I am starting with the bottom of my brows. So what I do is I draw a line at the bottom of my brows, and then I slowly drag it up as you see me doing here. And you'll just see me doing that throughout the brow just so I can get a even coverage. And then I brush my brow hairs down and I draw a line from the top of my brow, and then I go all the way down to the tail. And I always make sure to fill in the tail just because that is the darkest part of my brow. And then I go from that line at the top and just slowly fill it down. So you see me continuously looking in the mirror to make sure I didn't add too much product. And you'll see me using the spoolie end of the brush just to make sure that the product is blending well into my brow hair. So you'll see me continuously flipping the brush from the brush to the spoolie. And I always have a problem with the part that I'm doing now because it's so sparse right there. So I always have to drag the product down a bit just to make sure that it fills in those empty areas on the brow. So I'm just going to do my other brow. So I'm just going to skip this part because it's the exact same thing as the other brow. So now I am using a concealer brush from BH Cosmetics, and I am going to conceal my brows with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the color medium beige. I like to use this brush and just take my time to get as close as the brow as possible so I can have a sharp, clean brow at the bottom. Once I put the product on, I then drag it down as you see me doing here. And I drag it down all the way to my eyelid so that way it will blend in with the rest of the makeup that I'm going to put on my eye. I then use a Eco Tools brush to blend out that concealer. This concealer dries very fast, so I do one brow at a time. So I'm going to be doing the other brow the exact same way, the exact same concealer method, so I am going to skip over that part. So now I am using the e.l.f. Puttyless Pore Primer, and I'm going to spread that all over my face. Make sure I get in every single part, definitely the neck, underneath the chin, the forehead. And I just like to make sure I really rub that in. I am using the Maybelline Superstay foundation in the color Golden, and I am using a Eco Tools foundation brush. I do like to use a brush just so I can make sure that the foundation is fully covered on my face, and I just pat that in. I do not drag the brush. You'll see me kind of dragging it underneath my eyes, but since I'm going to be using concealer, I don't really concentrate on that area that much. And I always make sure to get the neck and underneath my chin. I really like to get underneath my ear also, just to make sure all of my foundation is blending in with my skin tone. So now I am going to be picking up a damp beauty blender and then going over that foundation with the butt of the beauty blender. This is just so I don't have any streaks in my makeup from the brush, I just pat it all over my face. And then I definitely make sure I get my eyelids just to make sure that they blend in with my foundation, especially if I'm not doing any eyeshadow. That is a very important step. And then I'm just going to pat this all over my face. I also use a smaller brush right above my eyebrows, just so I don't get any makeup on my hair. I just use the same foundation and just kind of pat it in along my hairline and at the top of my brows. I am now using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Tan Sand. I like to put this concealer underneath my eyes, on my forehead, on my chin, and on the bridge of my nose. I like to spread this foundation a little bit underneath my chin also. I do have some discoloration on my chin from acne scars. This concealer is full coverage, so I definitely make sure to cover that. And I also put a little bit on the bridge of my nose just because I'm going to be contouring a little bit and I want my nose to pop a bit. I am using a concealer brush with that same Tarte Shape Tape Concealer above my brows just to clean them up some more. I usually just do one line of this and then I go back and blend it up just so when I blend it all out together, it seamlessly goes into the foundation. I am using the same brush that I used to blend my foundation with to blend this concealer out on the top of my brows with. This brush is a little bit smaller, so it helps me reach those hard to get places. I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer sponge. It's this tiny little sponge and it is damp to blend out my concealer. I just pat this onto the concealer areas and it gets into those small places like the little inner corner of your eye. So I really love this sponge. Aaliyah J put me on. I am now going back in with the damp beauty blender that I used to put my foundation on, and I'm going over the edges of the concealer. This is to help blend the foundation and concealer together so it looks seamless. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I am using a triangle sponge to dab this onto my face. I like to make sure that my setting powder is even so that way it is not streaky. If you have streaks in your setting powder while you are baking, it will set those streaks in and your makeup will not look even and it won't look as flawless as it should. So I'm going to be brushing that powder right off. I do not bake. I usually just put the powder right on my face and brush it right off. So that is what you'll see me doing here. I also am getting underneath my contour area. That way when I do my contour, you'll see it be very sharp. I'm not sure why I contour after I set my makeup. I usually do it before, but I don't know. I guess I was going somewhere. But I am using the e.l.f. contour palette. I'm using the darkest brown in that palette. And I'm just using a angled contour brush to contour my cheekbones. I'm using that same e.l.f. contour palette to contour my nose, and I always use a smaller brush. This is from the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro set. And I just kind of go from my eye all the way down to the tip of my nose with that powder, just to make sure that it does stand out a little bit, but not too much, since this is an everyday makeup look. I am now using the Juvias Saharan blush palette in the color Toby. This blush is very, very pigmented. So you'll see me wiping some of the pigment off on a napkin and then dabbing it onto my face. I'm not very good with blush, so you see me kind of smiling, trying to find the apples of my cheeks and then kind of wiping it off. Just to make sure I am not too cheeky, okay? This is the MAC Hyper Real Glow palette, and I am going to be using the shade Glow Sheen. So lastly, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lasting FX spray. I use this all over my face to set my makeup. For my lips, I'm going to be using the MAC Limited Edition Sunfire Hit Mini Lipstick Vault. It comes with 12 mini lipsticks. To line my lips, I'm going to be using the NYX liner in the color Los Angeles. From the vault, I'm going to be using the color Mehr. That is my completed makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.